Okay.
Oh, you can't. I can't. Now you can see me. You like my knots? Anyway, I don't know if you guys know, but we've been homeschooling since September. And that's Jeremiah, right? Actually, he was homeschooling. Then I put him back in school because I felt like he's not ready for homeschool. Excuse me.
Everything.
So now, of course, we're back to homeschooling, and I really love homeschooling. I love it. I mean, since September, there's more things I want to do. But I just want to give you a little insight, which many of you are dealing with. My trying to get him to get his quiz done. Jeremiah, tell the world, do you do stuff as soon as I say to do it? Tell them the truth. Do you?
Yes.
No, you don't.
It's biotic. No.
Tell the world what is biotic and what is abiotic.
You didn't let me listen to what abiotic means.
You already saw what biotic means.
It only says the result of a living thing. What do they mean by, what's the opposite of a result of a living thing?
So a result of a living thing, biotic. Are you a result of a living thing?
But why they?
Who was living
why would
first?
They put a result?
Me or you? Meaning I was living and then you became as a result. So if biotic is living,
okay,
what is abiotic? This is what I gotta do.
Living thing, I guess.
Thank you. So that's his quiz.
Okay, the bird is biotic.
He knows everything.
Biotic and whatever.
He needs to be an attorney.
Mama, no.
I want to be an attorney.
I shall be a filmer.
But no. Not anymore.
Could you let me type down here? It won't allow me to type down here.
Okay, that's it. Homeschooling 101.
No. I probably sound
But when we begin again next September, I have a lot of plans for the kids. I want to go traveling. I want to do schooling and camping and stuff like that.
Schooling and camping?
Yeah, we go camping and do homeschooling.
You want me to do homeschooling and camping? That's a relaxation
So the
time.
program we've been using is called it's under Monarch Alpha and Omega. It's a very good program. You have different choices. I chose a choice where I don't teach because that's not my. I'm only patient with dance. I'm not with this stuff. I don't know how teachers do it. That's all I have to say. And I work in a school, and I understand. I lose my voice every year in schools. So anyway, the program we chose is where it outlines everything they have to do. They have Bible, all the core stuff, and it just outlines it. And so basically, for example, if they're doing science, this boy has a water balloon over me. If they're doing science 101, they can't skip to science 102. It's nicely ordered. Plus, there was the other program, like I said, which I wouldn't want to do. And this isn't all homeschooling programs. I have to say all without knowing exactly, but from what I've researched, when I started homeschooling, all these different companies, they have different choices. So the choice, like I said, I didn't choose was to get textbooks and sit there and actually be a teacher, because that's not honestly my gifting to do that. And so, like I said, the one that I chose for them. And then they have distant learning, which is in homeschooling where you have a teacher most of the time watching, you're plugging in, just like people are doing right now with Zoom, but it's not through Zoom, whatever the platform the school programs have. And don't be afraid. If any of you have ever considered homeschooling and say you have a high school student, you're wondering, well, they're not going to get the diploma. I did my research on this before I started. First of all, I spoke to the professionals. You don't have to have a diploma to show that you have met the requirements. Colleges already know people homeschool. They don't have to have that. Your stuff is already lined out that you have completed. But if you're one of those people that feel like you just want that, it just makes you feel more comfortable. The majority, if not all, like I said, of homeschool programs have accredited stuff where your child can actually get their degree for a high school student. And you don't have to start with their program from 9th grade. As long as you get into 12th grade in one of the programs, the child will get their diploma. So, like, I love our program, but I think I'm quite sure we're switching to Bridgeway Academy, and the only reason being is that I really love their different, outside of the core stuff, I love their, what do you call it? Different, oh gosh, help me with the word, different courses. And maybe Monarch has it also, and I just haven't really looked into it. Maybe I really should. But my homeschool program at Monarch, the program I have, is really inexpensive. For a family, doesn't matter how many children, it comes up to $77 a month and that includes taxes. So now the Bridgeway, the program I'm going to choose with them is the one where, like, especially with Jeremiah, since I said he was not, I don't think homeschooling, he needs to have someone watching him. I'm not going to get into why. Okay? So when we go into Bridgeway, like I could do with Monarch also, he's going into the program where he has to log in at a particular time each day for his classes. So the accountability is more there with worrying about me with my busy schedule. I couldn't do it. So he will have a teacher there face to face, and I guess see the other kids. Plus, they have interesting courses in Bridgeway, like architect stuff. And he's going to be, from what we see and what he said, it's going to be an architect. They have stuff.
Pop. I've been smashing it on the ground a million times. It won't pop.
Okay, in the house. Thank you. I'm gonna beat that kid, right? Anyhow, so what was I saying? I was saying about the programs. Oh, Jonathan. They have some program for entrepreneurs. Like I've said to many of you, he's an entrepreneur. He sells things. He sells sneakers. So we'll see what Carolina wants to do. She's in a co-op. And let me tell you about homeschooling, what a co-op is. Co-ops are where your child goes someplace once a week or more, whatever you want to do. They're all over the country. And they're places that what's great about them, they bring children together, and there's a certain limit because you can't have a lot of kids. And they either will teach them math, science, core stuff, non-core stuff, really interesting stuff. Even the like, so for example, Carolina's in Classical Conversation. That's a company. It's a Christian actually company. And that the way they do the learning on history, math is so much more interesting than the traditional. It's awesome. She's told me herself she loves it. I even sat in a class with, because when I was first having Jeremiah do homeschooling, I had enrolled him in the same class conversation, and even the science stuff, the interesting things, Matter of fact, they've asked me to become a director of the Bronx location because they have locations all over the country and they need one for the Bronx and stuff like that. So I've accepted that position. But nonetheless, big title, no money. Don't worry about it. Anyway, no real money. But that's not the point. But it's so cool. So with these co-ops, the kids get to go out, and because everybody always worried about social, how do they get their social? First of all, it depends on your child and their activities. Like Carolina has dance, so she's never missed social. Jeremiah has dance. He loves dance. I'm going to actually get him into soccer or something. So they have their social nonetheless, but the co-op is an extra where they get to be with these other kids once a week. And what's great about, like, with some of the co-ops, and I can speak for only Classical Conversations, is that the work that Carolina has, I don't need her in any other program. Like when because she was in Monarch, I end up taking away the science, all the stuff away because the classical covered. She has books from them. She sits and does her work. Here's an example, like for some of the subjects, she has to do actual drawings for the subject. It's really amazing. Like for the history, it makes it come alive and things like that. So with the Monarch, I only kept the math for her because the Classical Conversation, they do math, but they don't do it extensively. So she still goes online and she does more math and things like that. Jonathan's homeschooled now. He started in January. He didn't want to be homeschooled at first. And I had told him when 10th grade came, he was going to at least try it because I see the benefits of it. The leadership values that you can get from it depending on your child and depending on you as an adult. What else do you do with it? Because I have the kind of position where I'm not out at a 9 to 5, I can put in more time, even though I still have a limited amount of time because I teach dance in a school, but I still have more time from the average person who works 9 to 5, where I can get more creative and I can take them during the daytime to more trips than they would with a school. And like, I want to take them back to the Natural Museum of American History, take some papers and just start really now, instead of just walking through the museum, taking notes. I want to do like Jonathan's doctor who was homeschooled. Her mother did. When they were younger, she put all 3 kids in the car and they went driving across the country, at least across Pennsylvania. They would sleep, which I wouldn't do. She would stop at truck stops and they would sleep because they didn't have the money, and they would stay in a hotel. I think in the 10 days that they traveled, they stayed in a hotel, she said, once or twice. but her children really loved the experience because they really got to see things alive. So I'm just saying is that during this time of this pandemic and stuff, every child's not going to wouldn't want to be homeschooled now. Okay, 1 second. Now I know some kids who wanted to be homeschooled before all this happened. Well, at least I know one, and now she's saying she wouldn't, which I understand, but it's a different dynamic. You have to remember now you're stuck in the house, so homeschooling doesn't look attractive. This is not real homeschooling. This quarantine, that's not real homeschooling. Homeschooling is when you can take your kid out, when your kid can go and do different things. That's not. So if any of you were considering it, don't let this situation stop you from continuing to consider this great option, and say you do work 9 to 5, so you can't do all those extra stuff, but you still want your child to be homeschooled and your child is responsible enough to stay home. Hey, let them do it. It's awesome because it's really creative. And like with my kids, at first I keep dropping different rules. Like I was like, boy, if you don't get away from
Mom,
me.
these don't even pop.
Hold on, you gotta finish your quiz.
But this isn't pop.
Okay, I'm talking. So this is the one I have to be on my knees praying for all the time. Yes. The cutie one.
I'm gonna throw it now, Mama. Here we go. I'm gonna throw it. It actually doesn't pop.
Take that outside.
We were throwing it outside. It doesn't
go outside if you dare.
It's invincible. We could ask all of them. You were throwing it high up in the air and it smashed down and did nothing.
I need to pause right now.
Listen, everybody.
My face looks washed out.
Listen,
I look extra light skin right now.
They were all throwing it up in the air, very high, back down. The reason it's popping is because it's regular balloons. I trust me.
Hold on, people.
Trust me, it's not gonna pop, okay?
Jeremiah.
It's not gonna pop. 3.
I'm gonna. What do I do?
1.
Get the belt on Bob.
I told you, it doesn't pop.
Believe me, our house is normally like this. I can say it's not. There is discipline.
I told you, it's invincible.
But they've been roller skating in the house. They've been scooters. We have a backyard, but I was doing that before. I was letting them do that before then. You know what? I'm the type of parent that, honestly, I don't feel like I need. I do yell a lot when it's necessary, but like for them to have fun, like I don't feel like I need to be like, don't do this, don't do that. Like there's some things I understand, but there's some things like I think as an adult we just get so hyped up and upset about every little thing. So I'm like, you want to roller skate? Go ahead. The only thing I don't allow. There's no throwing balls in the house. We're not doing that. The charger, there's a charger is right there. Look, right there. Okay? So anyway, let me back up again. So like if your child can stay home by themselves, it's still awesome. And so like I was also saying, I was changing rules. At one point, I was like, you guys have to come downstairs 4 days a week and do your work in the living room or the kitchen because Jonathan, Carolina can get, especially Carolina, Jonathan will come downstairs a lot. She likes to be locked up in her room, which I don't like because that takes away time, family time. So I took that away from them. I said, you have to be down here 3 or 4 times a week. And then it was 4 times. And on Fridays, you can go upstairs in your room. So now I reversed it and said you can go in your room, but you cannot, for the most part, do work in the bed. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that it is, but I feel because I'm the type who does not like to stay in my bed. I like to get up because for me, bedroom means sleep. And it's been proven for me when I'm in my bedroom, I get sleepy and I get nothing done. Sitting there on my computer, my bed does not help. So I'm the type, I love being downstairs. I love being on the couch doing work, going in my office, which is the family room and everything you could throw in there, treadmill, everything, right? So I changed it back to now you can, but you have to sit at your desk. And the reason why I did that, there's a few. 3 of them down in the same room, they all start except for Carolina. Not that she doesn't choke around, but the boys, they like to bug her. So the concentration wasn't there. Then I set down a lot of rules. You guys know me. I set down rules. I've now taken away cell phones. 9:30, phones have to be down here. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Obviously not for them, but for me too, because there's a few things like you don't want to deal with the, oh, mama, this, that. You don't want to deal with it, right? Because the reality is my kids is like most of you guys. They don't immediately say yes. It's when that look comes on my face, that's when they know I'm done, right? So all that stuff is in your mind, like, I don't want to deal with the argument and stuff like that. But I put my foot down. I was done. I was like, 9:30. Jonathan, you're 14. Carolina, you're 12. Jeremiah has a phone. He just got one, but he can't even use it. He used it when he first got it 2 days. That was it. Shut down. Seriously. So Jonathan, because we had allowed a routine to be created where they had their phones having up late at night, and those kind of things trigger problems, right? Things pop up on internet, things that they should not be seeing, and I don't see what's going on, so I had to shut that bad boy down. So guess what, since then it's been a week. Their phones come down at 9:30, and I want them out the room, right? Because they could be tempted. I don't know. So the phones come downstairs. They've been having so much fun, guys. Now they're thinking of other things to do. Where before, you know, your mind, you're like, what are they gonna do? Because what are you gonna do? You don't have a tablet. You're thinking just like they're thinking. Once you set down the law, they'll change. They'll start to, if they use their common sense, if they don't want to be bored. It's changed. Even Jonathan, Carolina, and yes, I am. I put down laws for going to bed because the laws for going to bed had went out the back window. It's like going to bed too late. And I'm like, I'm pointing my finger at other people's kids, like, how they letting their kids go to bed after 11 and 12? And then they started doing it. John's until 1 o'clock. I had to shut that bad boy down. And he had me laughing because the first week he was like, Mama, I wasn't tired, which I understood because your body was so used to staying up late. And he had me laughing. The next day when I got up, I saw his sneakers all lined up in the middle of the floor because that was the only way. He was bored. He didn't know what else to do to fall asleep. But now, guess what? He goes to bed. I told the bedtime is 10 o'clock. He's going to bed. He's waking up at a good time. Where before he was waking up 11 o'clock. And I'm like, that's not what I want to produce for any of the kids. Especially, I hate to say it because I'm not trying to be sexist, but for my male children, I don't want to create that because I don't want you to become lazy. And I don't need him to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I want you to get more sleep. But I think I told him by 9:30, I think I said, I want you up. 9:30, 10. There could be some times when it's later once in a while. But homeschooling, it's a great option. I spoke long enough. Please, if you were considering it, don't let this quarantine stop you. It's an awesome, awesome things to do. And if you have any suggestions to help me better my homeschooling, if you've done it before, even if you haven't, but your creativity is up there, let me know because I really want to, like I said, I was talking about you, not right now. I was, but not at the moment. Thank you, sir. 11-year-old. I want to take him camping and do homeschool at camping, things like that. I want to go to DC.
Camping. Have a good experience.
Yeah.
Not work. I work at camping. Huh?
This kid.